It is a very simple sheet with just the name and the number, right? So my first question to you people is, I'll write over here, you have to count the number of cell with the word apple. So I'll write, I'll repeat it again, count the number of cell. I repeat, please remember, it is not, see, you have to read the line very carefully. So I read the line again, count the number of cell. It is not the number of apple. It is number of cell with apple in the range from A2 to A6. Often, people normally what they do, they confuse this since there is a number given just in front of the names. They start counting the names, the apple and the mangoes and the peaches and the jackfruit. But please read the sentence very carefully. It says, count the number of cell with the apple. What does it mean? It means that it wants me to count the cell having the name apple. I'm going to use the same command, count if. I've written equal to over there. I'll give the range from, say, A2 to A6, which is a very short range. I'm going to press comma, and then I'm going to give the word apple over here, right? Please remember, having a question and knowing the question is very important when you attempt it. Often people in hurry, they end up doing some, see, the function will be same, because even if you use Countif with the B column, it will give you the result, but it will not give you what I'm asking for. I've asked for the number of cell with the word apple. I don't want you to give me the total number of apples, which is 20 as per the record in B column. All right. So please be clear with which function you're using, because often in the hurry, often it happens when we know a lot, we do a lot of mistake then also. So I repeat, the function again is equal to count if bracket A2 to A6, comma, in the quote I write the word which I want to see. So if you see, okay, so can you figure out the error?
मैम उसमें एप्पल लिखा, आपने फंक्शन में एप्पल लिखा.
Can you write it? I can't hear. Yes,
मैम
very good. Very good.
एप्पल.
So even though the alphabet A is capital, it has taken that. But if you see very carefully, over here I've written apples with S, and over here I've written just the apple. So the same mistakes may happen in hurry when you know a lot, because maybe you want to cover many things, and the same thing you will end up doing the same thing in the exam as well. So try to refrain from doing such mistakes, because often when we are when we are knowing more, we end up doing more mistakes in the confidence, or maybe in the hurry. So next question is that, I hope you guys have done that. The next question is that, count the number of cell. I'll write for you here, count the number of cells with peaches. Can you do that on your own now? I've did it for apple. Can you do it for peaches? The result will be 1 again, but there is a difference in the function which I want to tell here. You can have the same function over here. Instead of apple, you have to just write the word peaches. Okay, but the difference can be, what extra thing we can do here. Instead of writing a word, we also have the option of giving the cell address over here. But for that, you should know the cell address where that word peaches has been stored. So I write that again. I say count if, and you say the bracket, and I give the range again from A2 to A6. I write comma here, right? And now I don't want to write the word, but I want to write the cell address, which I know from the column it is A4. So I close the bracket now. Let me just check the function again. It's equal to count if bracket A2 to A6, comma, and I want to find the word which I've stored in A4. Mind you, in this case it is peaches, but it could be any other word which is subject to change any time in future. Because right now we're working on the names of fruit. It could be the name of rivers. It could be the name of the students also. It could be the topics that we are doing, that we have in the syllabus or that we're doing right now. So just in case if the matter is subject to change, we normally prefer to give the cell address and not the word, because word cannot be same, especially when we are working on these accounts. So if you see the result is same, so I can, what does it mean? That in count if I can either give the text or I can give the cell address. And repeat, I'm repeating once more time, in the text you have to give the column, you have to give these quotes, and comma will come after the cell range. And for the cell address there is no need to give the double quotes, right? Let's do the other question. I say count, that you will do now. Count the number of apple and I've just written in short form, and peaches given in the sheet. So can you do that on your own? We use the for function count if only, but there is a difference which I want to tell you over here. So I repeat, the question is that count the number of apple and the number of peaches in the column A, which we have in the data set. So there are two ways of doing that. One way is we can do it through countif, which we have been doing. So I'm going to say the same function. You please practice on your own if you know already how to do it. But I'm going to tell you another way of doing it without countif. So the first way is that you say equal to countif, you say bracket, and we give the range, which is from A2 to A6. And don't give I don't close the bracket. I say comma, and I know the apples are in A3, so I write A3 over here. Then I close the bracket, and then I say plus sign because I want to count both of them. So the other way that if you already, if the data set is very small, very easily you can do this with the sum function also. You can just apply sum function. You can actually see the number of peaches and the number of apples over there, and the answer will be 24. But just in case if you have more data over there, you may have to use this particular function. So what I've done, I've given count if function with the range and the cell address where my first criteria is stored. And I'm going to close the bracket because one criteria is over. Please remember, for each individual criteria, we will have to use individual count if function, right? So if there are 10 different criterias in this particular, I want to write the number of apple, peaches, mangoes, jackfruit, pineapple as well. In that case, I will have to use 5 times this count if, which will make my formula very long and it is subject to the error. Because maybe I can do a small error of writing extra comma, no comma at all, no bracket at all, or the extra bracket. So the moment I'm trying to work with the extra symbols or with the extra characters in a formula, it is always subject to a error. So try to find a solution which will make your formula a bit concise and not a very long one. So let me complete this formula, which I want to use with the to count if function, because we have two criterias over here. So has anybody done so far? Can you do it with the count if function? Have you done it? If not, try doing that. Otherwise, you can see on the screen I'm doing that for the class. So it's equal to count if bracket A2 to A6, comma A3, and I'm going to write plus function, and then I have to write another count if function over here with the same criteria. Count if bracket, the range will be same, which is from A2 to A6. I put comma here, and I then write the cell address where the peaches are stored, that is A4. So I close the bracket, and I hope it should give me the result because I don't want to have any error over here. Let me check the function once again. Spelling of countif is okay, range is okay, cell address is okay, plus countif is okay, the bracket is okay, the comma is okay. It should give me the result, which is 2. So what has happened, please remember, it hasn't worked with the B column repeat. I'm repeating it once again. It has just told me to count the number of cells that are having apple and the peaches. But if it says just count the number of apples and the peaches as the question says, then in that case we have to use the column B. So I'll just change this because it was only supposed to have only one only the A column with the number of apple word and the number of peaches. So it has just combined the two countif together. Now the same thing can be easily done by your count if s also, but let me complete all the count if, and then I'm going to go for count if s. Let me do further. There's another question you can write, and this I want you guys to do because I've done this already. So I repeat the question again. Count the number of cells. I repeat again, it's number of cells, not the number of apples or peaches or the other fruits. So count the number of cells with a value, with a value not equal to, not equal to, okay, let me give 6 over here because the number is 6. Number is not there, they're all high, lower number. So let me just give 6 over here. So, or let me just write 5 because I want to have some, no, not 5, let me write 10 over here because I want to have some result over here. I don't want to have a zero number over here. So it says count the number of cells with a value not equal to 10. Now please remember over here what they have done. They haven't told you, whether you want to have, we want to work on a cell with a word or with a number. But if you can just see logically, it says that number of cell with a value. So a value has to be the number only that we, and not equal to 10. So that is a hint enough to you that we have to work with the B column and not with the A column. So in all the questions, please remember, they will give you a hint to find out which column you have to work on. It is always not necessary that you will always be given specifically the name or the number in the exam or in the question. So I have this question over here, count the number of cells with a value not equal to this 10. Can you do that? We've already done it. So I just do the same function as count if, right? And I use this bracket and I use the range, which will be this, and I close the range. I then put comma, and then I'm going to use that symbol which I told you not equal to, and then I'm going to write 10 and I'm close the quotes and the bracket as well. So let's just see the function once again. So it's equal to count if bracket, the range b2 to b6, comma, we have the quotes, and the symbol is being used for not equal to. But please do try. You were asking me, whether we can write before or not. Just try doing that and let me know whether you get the result or not. So we have this function over here with the not equal to symbol, and we want to compare a value not equal to 10. So I hope the function is right, and let me now press enter. So it's going to give me 4 value. Great. So total are 6. So what happens? So it has given me the 10, 1. Okay, so it has given me 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes. So there were only 4 values which are not equal to 10, and the fifth one is 10 indeed. So it hasn't given me 5, but only it has given me the 4 number because the first one is for the heading, and that is why we're coming to the 6. So don't get confused again with that because the row is showing 6 and the answer is 4. It is showing you 4 because total rows are 6, no doubt. But what we have done, we have first used the heading row. So automatically the remaining rows become only 5. And from those 5, one number is already having 10. So automatically the answer that we get has to be 4 only. All right. So I hope you guys were able to do it.